Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Reality Recap. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me. And today, we're going to be breaking down Love is Blind. Yes, I know. We are still talking about it. Something about Love is Blind, it stays around longer than it needs to because the show doesn't give. But the drama on the internet before the show and after the show is where the real tea is at. So we are going to talk about Virginia's interview with AD on What's the Reality. I did listen to the whole thing. I was actually intrigued. Very much so. She had a lot to say, and we're going to break that down. We're also going to touch on the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Temptation Island. Baby, the way people have been hunting me down, sending me DMs, leaving me comments on videos that have nothing to do with nothing, saying, hey, girl, where's Temptation Island? Baby, right here on the Reality Recap. Y'all better come and listen to these exclusive reviews. Yes, ma'am. So before I get into it, as always, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to. YouTube, y'all are doing a great job. We are over 5K, baby. Let's run it up. However, we're available on all podcast streaming platforms, guys. So if you want to listen in the car, if you want to listen while you cook, if you want to listen at work, hell, if you're allowed to, though, I will not be held liable for you losing your job. Okay? Wherever you want to listen, I will be there. Definitely. And if you do want to listen ad free, there is that option via Apple Podcast subscription. So yeah, definitely utilize whatever platform works best for you. Get that audio listenership up, guys. Blast me in your cars. I'm sure everybody in your car would love it. Guys, I have a sweet voice, don't I? Don't I? I do. You don't have to tell me. Anyways, let's get into Love is Blind. I gotta acknowledge the beauty in the room, baby. Virginia and AD, y'all can't coexist in the same room at the same time, baby. The way I was distracted. I don't know if AD did her own makeup or if she had a makeup artist. Whichever one it is, post the tutorial right now. I'm just getting into bronzer. I never thought bronzer was for us, but apparently it is. The girl was bronzed to the gods. She looked so good. Beautiful. And then you have Virginia. Virginia always eats down. I feel like Virginia looks even more beautiful now that Devin is not attached to her. Something about shedding that dead weight, honey. The glow up is real, but she didn't even have to glow up. She was always beautiful. So let's get into this interview here. So basically, she admits that in her relationship with Devin, she was shrinking herself, and it was more prevalent to her as she was watching the show back. I'm so glad that she acknowledged that, because one of the reasons why we thought that maybe she was being inauthentic to herself was her voice. Her voice was so high-pitched and soft so many times, but whenever she was trying to have like a hard-hitting conversation, her tone would be different. Like her register would lower. And I'm thinking, hold on, so what's going on there? Now, sometimes, our voices do have different inflections and stuff like that. I love to put on an accent, baby. Love to put on an accent. And on top of that too, if y'all heard how I spoke to my sweet thing, y'all would be shocked. Y'all be like, who is that? Who is that? So I'm not even going to vilify Virginia for that. However, she did admit that she was not being true to herself in that relationship. And I'm glad that she acknowledged that. A part of that is because she wanted to protect Devin so much. And AD chimed in because this is something that is so prevalent in the Black community. I can only speak on that because that's the community that I'm a part of. I'm sure it happens to other people as well. However, there's this like unspoken duty for Black women to protect Black men, especially in romantic relationships. And sometimes it's debilitating because it's at your own detriment. So it seems now that Virginia is the bad guy, at least as far as her family is concerned, when in fact, Devin had so many problematic things, from how he would relate to her in their relationship. He would lie about things, or he would omit a lot of things about his beliefs. And well, it's up to you whether or not you believe his beliefs are problematic, but Virginia did. And baby, I do as well. She says the big things that she had an issue with were his beliefs on religion and religious expression, and the LGBTQ rights. I don't even want to get into it too much, but she thinks that maybe he believed that they had the same thought process because they connected so much on faith. And I was thinking, that kind of makes sense, because earlier this year, There was an executive order made about gender identity and stuff, right? And somebody came to me at my church. And I'm thinking, first of all, you better be this committed to Canadian politics because that's not even our country, y'all. But they came to me so passionate, so happy about whatever the executive order was. And I was thinking to myself, baby, hold on. I know we're in the same building. I know we're reading from the same book. We're singing the same songs. But our thought process is not the same. Do not get that twisted at all. So I definitely hear Virginia like, I'm Christian too, but there's different types of Christianity. And unfortunately, we're not the same kind. So she did realize that whenever she would talk about religion, whenever she would talk about politics, he would either say something problematic or he wouldn't say anything at all. And so this is where I kind of wanted AD to chime in a little bit. It seemed like AD was having like a girl chat moment more than she was an interview, which isn't a problem. I think there's room for that. But I would have liked her to investigate that more, because if Virginia stood on these principles, similar to the commentary going on about Sarah, right? If you stand on these principles so much, why did you stick around with somebody who didn't stand on those same principles? You know, if he's saying problematic things when you have, people of different religions in your friends and family group, in your family and friend groups. Oh my gosh. Or you have family and friends who are in the LGBTQ community. Isn't it all that more important to make sure there are no blurred lines when it comes to where your partner stands with that? Like that's my question. But even if, so this is not even for Virginia, this is in general now. Even if you don't have, people of different religions, different cultures, different sexual identities in your life, I think it is important to fight for the rights of certain people. I find it so hard to hear people say that they only believe in something that directly affects them. Ben is a perfect example. Oh, well, I'm kind of indifferent about Black Lives Matter because that has never affected me. Oh, God forbid somebody fights for human rights. God forbid. Like, that is crazy. I think I touched on it earlier when I was referring to Alex's allegations, and I was saying that I hope that people would relate to the alleged victims in the story, even if they have not been violated. Me personally, I do resonate because I have been violated when I was young, but even if I wasn't, I would still want there to be justice for those women. Even if that's something that didn't apply to me, even if I didn't have a non-binary best friend, even if I didn't have somebody who was Muslim and somebody who was atheist in my life, like I would hope that the human rights for all people is at the forefront of my mind. So that was a little bit of my question. I'm not going to crucify Virginia for that, but I wish they just dove into it a little bit more. Speaking of the untruths coming from Devin, Virginia said that there were a lot of things he would lie about. And that's another thing that I'm like, so why did you say once you realized that they were lies? And I'm looking at Devin's family, because Devin's family turned on Virginia immediately. And she did say that what we didn't get to see was Devin's sister saying to Virginia's people, oh, come get your girl. How about I get you? How dare, ew, what? Have you met your brother? Have you met your son? Goodness sakes. So I'm looking at them because they have this problem like, oh, this always happens to Devin. Why are women always like this? Don't you see that the problem is Devin at this point? It happens all the time to Devin. Maybe there's a pattern coming from Devin. But even if they didn't see anything beforehand, Virginia says that the check, the $1,000 check, was exposed because of Devin's mother telling her about it. And then she was like, oh, I didn't even know about that. Then the little note that Devin got from his friend, which is actually his ex-girlfriend, she only knew that that was his ex-girlfriend because Devin's mother, again, is the one who said it. So Devin's mama, you don't see that there are inconsistencies coming from your son? And then y'all are going to have the audacity to tell Virginia's people to collect Virginia. Ew. We also learn that Minnesota, I don't know nothing about Minnesota, y'all, but apparently Minnesota has a large Hmong and Somali community, according to Virginia. And she said she was kind of disappointed at the fact that there wasn't more cultural representation because it is a mixed bag of people over there in Minnesota. However, of the people who were chosen, She discovered that the black guys only date white women, Devin included. Interesting. Or maybe they had a pattern of only dating white women. Like maybe they would be open to others, but the past, like the record is just white women. And so I thought that was interesting because we did hear that when Britt ended things with Mo, some of the issues was the fact that he had only dated white women in the past. So it's like, wow, not only are you with a black woman, you're with a dark-skinned black woman. And apparently her complexion was also an issue for him. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, maybe it's for the best that that we only got Devin, because it seems to be problematic all the way around when it comes to a good chunk of the guys that we saw this season. So yeah, Virginia girl, you dodged the biggest bullet. Oh, she also says that the internet should be kinder to Dave because she understands the relationship that Dave has with his sister, because his sister essentially assumed a mother role in his life since his mother passed away. Now, in as much as I do understand that, I do empathize with that. His sister should not be the end all be all for every decision in his life. And on top of that, Lauren should not have been at the receiving end of whatever his sister's judgment was. He knew coming onto his show, onto this show, that his sister probably was not going to be okay with it. He knew that he would have to get full approval from his sister before wanting to introduce anybody to her. Why the hell would you bring Lauren into that? Why the hell would you bring anybody into that? Now, I'm not saying the internet should cook him. I do think that some people do take it overboard. Like, guys, these are real people living real lives. Have some sense. But in terms of commentary, baby, we will continue to say that the way that he was moving was problematic. I'm sorry. No, the things that he was doing, the way that he was making Lauren the villain in the story, when really the villain was this invisible sister. Well, really it was Dave, and just continuously throwing his sister under the bus. Like, Virginia, you got a good heart. Love that about you. But I will not let up on Dave, girl. That's not happening. What else is going on here? She said that he was a mama's boy, which we did see, obviously. They spoke about the prenup in the pods, and he was okay with it. Yet out of the pods, because his mother had concerns, because his sister had concerns, now all of a sudden he had concerns. And this also falls in line with something that Britt said in her interview. She said that Devin's response to her speaking about her sexuality was immature, but in tandem, she said he's also a mama's boy. We didn't really see the evidence of that yet, especially because we only saw so much of them, but definitely seeing it now. And yeah, that seems to be everything that came from that interview. It was a good interview. Definitely go and listen to that. Monica also did an interview with Elite Daily. She was talking about Sarah and Joey being in a relationship, in some kind of relationship, even before the reunion, which is interesting because Sarah has been going around saying, oh, we're just friends. And when she's asked what will happen in the future, she says, oh, you just never know. But apparently Sarah went to Monica herself and said that she was seeing Joey, which is doubly offensive because apparently Monica really confided in Sarah about Joey. And there is Sarah just looking back at her, giving her advice just to turn around and date the same dude. Didn't I speak about this last week? It is so weird to date somebody who is an ex of my friend. There's too much history there. It's all, no. And on top of that, too, you sat here and you listened to my woes. You gave me advice just to turn around and date that same person. If all parties involved were okay with it, that's one thing. But clearly that's not the case. If enough time has passed, that's another thing. But clearly that's not the case. Oh, Sarah, Joey, Devin, David. Is his name David? Dave, whatever. Mo, who we didn't even get to see. Ben. Sick of all them. Alex. Heavy on Alex, baby. Heavy on Alex. Sick of all these people. Love is Blind. Summer, I need you to get it together. Where are they going? Denver? Denver, do right now. If anybody's in Denver, y'all better do a good job. Anybody in the comments right now, y'all tell me, is Denver a place that we should get hype about? Or should we expect Minnesota 2.0? Moving on. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We were left off with Porsha asking Drew what's the deal with her and Dennis. And Drew, listen, Drew, if you're gonna lie, at least make it convincing. Wasn't Drew on the game back in the day? Aren't you an actress, mama? Let's hone in those acting skills, because the way this girl was like, no, there's nothing going on between us. It's strictly business. I don't buy it. And neither does Porsha. Porsha's like, I've been hearing that y'all are booed up. I've been seeing matching outfits or whatever. And Drew was like, no, strictly business. The streets are saying, and by the streets, I mean one specific person who came and told me that they personally know somebody who is in the business, who's in the music industry, who is like well acclaimed, critically acclaimed, who actually does work with Drew. So she doesn't need to work with Dennis. It seems like she's got heavy hitters on her roster. Why Dennis? Choosing Dennis seems to be deliberate. And that's shady boots. Definitely shady boots. I also did see a clip from a live. Guys, I'm in the Housewives universe now. Like, I'm in, okay? There was a live that Porsha did, and she said that she had seen text. Well, on the show, she said that she saw text of Drew wanting to film with Dennis, which is a problem for her because this is her platform. She built this thing, you know, like why are you going to have my ex-partner impede on my livelihood? Like, why are you going to do that? And if he is going to be on that platform, it better not be with you. It better be with me. We are raising a child together. Why is he dealing with you? But anyways, Porsha says that, on the live, she says that she got evidence that Drew was trying to fly Dennis out to Chicago because apparently they were supposed to be filming in Chicago. And she was like, yeah, I'll fit the bill if ever he has to travel anywhere. Like, he can come and he can film. Girl, you are paying for flights? You're paying for flights just to have Dennis around? I'm sorry. It's a little bit sketchy, mamas. I don't know. I feel like there are other people you could have chosen, especially because what I'm gathering is that Porsha and Drew did have a friendship. They did connect. They were confidants for each other. They were a support system. And then you turn around and you do this? She's not beating the homewrecker allegations. Anyways, we finally get to meet Angela. Angela is married to Charles Oakley, NBA star. They have 4 kids. They share the last child. And what else were they talking about? She's a self-made millionaire. She currently has 5 real estate properties that she's trying to renovate and sell out, like luxury homes, okay? Although she's married to an NBA star, she has made a name for herself. Don't get it twisted, okay? So she's talking about the Porsha Drew drama, and Charles is like, not too much now, because haven't you worked with an ex before? Oh, gagged. Gagged. She was like, wait a minute now, why are you gonna clock me like that? But girl, if that's true, then you really can't say too much because you've already been there. I don't know whose ex. Was it her ex? Was it somebody else's ex? I don't know. The point of the matter is this is clearly familiar territory, so don't be saying too much about other people if you're doing the same thing. Anyways, apparently Charles is like the perfect house husband. He cooks, he cleans, he dotes after this woman. Don't we love to see it, baby? Love to see it. Listen, I have no problem cooking and cleaning and doing all those things. I mean, I have to. I live alone, right? But when a man comes into your life and he cooks and he cleans and he just loves to take care of you, baby, I eat it up. Eat it up! Almost to my detriment. Because there was one guy who I definitely should not have been dating, but he cooked for me. And I was locked in. He cooked and I was locked in. I'm sorry, I'm easy. Oh my gosh. Thank God those days are over. Moving on. Kenya and Porsha have a heated past, apparently. This is what I'm gathering, guys. I'm new. You're supposed to hold my hand. Are you holding my hand? Hold it. They have a heated past. However, since they've had kids, they now respect each other more. Porsha says that she does not want Dennis filming because this is her platform. She built this for herself. Why is he going to be eating off of her work? I get that. She also says that they used to have a very toxic relationship. So they're finally in a good place, and she's scared that if they start to film again, they're going to be at blows. It's not going to be good for the daughter that they have together. And I do understand that. Like, sometimes filming, the show, the production, the people in your ears, the assistants, all that stuff, it gets to you, right? Even just like the internet commentary of now trying to weigh in on your relationship because you've now put your relationship on TV, all of that makes co-parenting difficult. Totally understand that. So she's like, we just got in a good place. I'm not trying to do that again. I totally understand. Want to back away from that toxicity for sure. Speaking of toxic, apparently Porsha is not Simon's first ex-wife, second ex-wife, third ex-wife, fourth ex-wife. She is Simon's fifth ex-wife. Now Porsha, it was already sketchy as it was for you to go for Miss Girl. What's her name? Fallon? For you to go for Miss Girl's husband. Now you telling me you are ex-wife number 5. You had to have known what the inevitable was. You had to have known. Girl, be so for real. Porsha. I've seen a lot of things about Porsha. I don't know if we like Porsha or not, but Porsha's not giving likable to me. Do we like her? And if we do, please tell me why. Because I'm struggling. We also get to formally meet Britt. Britt met her husband while working. He was her client, and she works in insurance, right? Y'all be going for your clients like that? Aren't there rules against that? I don't know. She said initially she was playing it cool because she didn't want to, I can't say it. Well, I guess I can say the word if I wanted to. I'm a grown woman. This is my podcast. I can say what I want. But basically, she doesn't want a dookie where she works. I'll keep it clean. But they eventually started talking more and more often. She wanted to explore a relationship. He was keen, and now they're together, right? They are trying for a child. But it is important to note that her husband, I think his name is Mike. Yep. Her husband already has a 15-year-old. And maybe that is the reason why this man does not seem ecstatic at all about this journey. I think they said they're going to do IVF. Yeah, I think they said they're going to do IVF. And then once she has the child, her mom is going to move in. But right now they have to situate the living situation because they don't want their mama sleeping in the next room. Yeah, absolutely not. No. I hear you. I hear it. So then I got to sort out my situation because I also want my mama to stay with me when I have my kids. Where is she going to stay? This apartment is not big enough for the 4 of us. Anyways, it's not about me. So yeah, this is an interesting relationship. I'm struggling to see where Britt fits in here. She's a friend of Kelly's, and I feel like Kelly has a bigger storyline right now than Britt does. But since we're focusing on her, I guess this childbearing journey is going to be her main storyline. Can you tell Mike that? Does Mike know that that's your plot line? Because Mike doesn't seem to want to be here, babes. And he definitely doesn't want to seem to talk about this kid on camera. He's like, allegedly. She's going to be pregnant, allegedly. Let my man talk about allegedly. Oh, I'd be so irritated. Anyways, we meet Shadina, who is Shamia's surrogate. She is the one who carried and gave birth to Shamia's child. However, they both shared this like guilt with each other, which is so interesting. So Shamia's daughter did have some complications in the like first few months. And so she was thinking, oh my gosh, like, Shadina is thinking, did I inflict some of my stuff onto your daughter? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then Shamia took to the internet to explain some of the things that were going on with her child. And apparently the internet was so cruel. They were basically saying, oh, you're selfish. This is why you shouldn't have a surrogate and stuff like that. Guys, whoa, there are plenty of reasons why people want to go down the surrogacy route. And she says she had done a few rounds of IVF, seven failed rounds of IVF. That is not easy at all. Not easy at all. So it is a blessing that somebody like Shadina was able to step in and be like, I will house a womb. I will house a womb for your child. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? I'll carry your child. Goodness, I'm trying to complicate things for what? She's like, yeah, I'll have your baby because you're unable to have your baby. And then after that, Shadina was diagnosed with cancer. And so Shamia holds some guilt regarding that because she's like, there's gestational cancer and maybe me asking you to carry my child is the reason why you now have cancer. They're just, yeah, they both carry a lot of guilt, but they have formed a bond. And so now, Shamia does want another child. And obviously, she's not going to ask Shadina. Shadina has been through enough. However, Shadina does own a surrogacy company. Would it be considered a company? Yeah. She owns a surrogacy company. And so she is going to introduce Shamia to another surrogate. And so that's going to be their journey as well. How interesting. How beautiful is surrogacy? Because I don't know that I would be able to offer up my womb and then just be like, here you go. Hey, I've bonded with this baby. I have bonded with this baby. This is our baby now. This is our baby. I don't know what you're talking about. You about to take away my baby? No. So God bless the surrogates out there. You guys are doing amazing work. And God bless the women who have fertility issues. That one is close to home in ways that I am not going to speak about on this podcast, but it is not easy at all. IVF is not easy. Man, my heart goes out to those women for sure. So then we talked to Kelly. And Kelly's ex-husband? Oh my goodness. Apparently, she's trying to open up some more restaurants, right? Because one of her restaurants was shut down because of her husband. I don't remember what kind of power he had to make that happen. But on top of him doing that, he stole. Let me sit up. He stole. Excuse me. See, even my body is reacting poorly to this. He stole $500,000 from their business account. And then the man would put hands on her. Not only are you a thief, you're an abuser. And apparently, isn't there divorce because of cheating too? You're a thief, you're an abuser, and you're a cheater? Oh my gosh, like how horrible. And Kelly, similar to what I was saying earlier about wanting to protect Black men, Kelly felt like she couldn't say anything. She was like, you know what? I'm just going to put on a brave face. Nobody needs to know that I'm being abused physically by my husband. I'm being abused financially by my husband. Insane. Absolutely insane. My heart definitely goes out to Kelly for sure. I mean, she has 4 children. She's the one who has 4 children, right? How dare you? How dare you do that to the mother of your children? My brain will never fathom that. My brain will never fathom putting hands on anybody, let alone the mother of your children. My brain will never understand you financially abusing somebody when that person is providing for your children. So for her, it is so important to make sure that her businesses stay intact because she's the sole provider for her kids right now. I think she said that he has never paid child support unless like the courts were after him. He just seems like a wicked man, just a wicked man. But anyways, I think Drew says that her ex also stole money from her. And so for her, she is the sole provider for her child as well. He also asked for alimony. I think that's the one where she said that she didn't have a prenup the first time. No, that wasn't Drew. That was Porsha. But I'm assuming based on this that Drew didn't have a prenup either. And so she's been having to pay her ex-husband alimony and stuff. And this is why it's so important for her music career to really pick up. Because ain't nobody paying for that child but her. For her children. I think she has multiple kids. Guys, I'm new. Hold my hand. I'm new. Thank you. Then we go to Drew, who says that the reason why she is attached to Dennis is because he has been very instrumental in her healing journey post-divorce. When we get a little bit more context, I'm just like, okay, I do understand. However, why not run that by Porsha? She took the word of Dennis, basically saying like, oh yeah, Porsha's okay with it, but you're supposed to be Porsha's friend. Go and talk to Porsha. Go and make sure that Porsha is okay with it, especially if you're claiming that there isn't any foul play. All right, who cares? Go and say something then. It should not matter. But no, clearly you're doing something slimy. Dennis had a conversation with Porsha, and he says that it is strictly business. He co-signs this. He's like, I never tried to do anything with this girl. Like it was never going to go there. Dennis, I don't believe you. Not for 1 second. Porsha says part of the problem with filming is the fact that this is her platform. And it seems like every man in Porsha's life tries to eat off of her platform, because why did I see another clip? Guys, I'm in the world. Why did I see another clip of Porsha's ex-husband, mind you, the one that's in the basement? And I think it's called like something in the basement, whatever the name of the show is. And he's like, who's coming down here? Somebody's trying to come down here. I'm gonna write in the app right now that she's breaching our agreement. I said, and this is why I would be petty and do my best performance in the bedroom whenever I know that man is in the basement. I'm so sorry. You're going to eat off my platform. You're going to be petty in the divorce, petty in the app so the judges can see. You're going to make things difficult for me on purpose. I'm going to do my worst. God is working on my heart though, guys, please. God is working on my heart. But anyways, that is it for Housewives. Ralph, that's his name. Yeah, Ralph in the basement. Let's move on to Temptation Island. So, like I said, I only did the first 3 episodes of Temptation Island. Guys, I know you probably want the whole season. My brain will be mush. I cannot. I'm doing a lot right now. So we're going to go through the first 3. Maybe in the next episode, we'll do the next 4. That makes what? 7? And then we'll have 3 left. So only 3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks. We can hold on. We can hold on for 3 weeks. Let's meet the couples. First couple is Ashley and Grant. They've been together for 1.5 years. He has brought some excitement in her life. She says before she met him, life was bland. Life was dull. But yeah, he's brought some excitement, so much so that he cheated a month into their relationship. A month into their relationship. Ashley, girl, I don't know if this is the excitement that you wanted, but now you have trust issues because this man cheated a month in and you stayed. When Mark asks them about the rules, did I even explain to him? Hold on. Not me being a bad host. Let me explain Temptation Island for those who don't know. This show has been going on for years. And Mark L. Wahlberg, I'm pretty sure is his name. He is the host. He's been hosting it since the early 2000s. And basically, couples come on the show. They talk about the issues that they've been having in their relationship that have kept them from proceeding. Basically, the ultimatum, but on an island. They want to get married, or one person doesn't want to get married. One person does. They just want to further their relationship in whatever way they see fit, right? And so they come on this show. They get split up and live in different villas. The guys in the relationship will have a house full of women. The girls in the relationship will have a house full of men. Week by week, they go on dates, and then they go to bonfires where they get to see what their partner was doing in the other villa. And then at the end, you got to decide if you're going to commit to being in a relationship, leave single, or leave with somebody new. All right. So we already talked about Ashley and Grant. Now I'm going to move on to, I want to say Brian, but it's Breon and Shantae. They have been together for 1 year. He is a really big flirt. So much so that after he met this girl at church, he had her in his bed that same night. Now I got questions for you, Shantae. I've got questions. You're surprised that this man is a flirt when the first day y'all met, you were in his bed by the end of the night. She knows that he has a very colorful sexual past. He loves to entertain multiple women at the same time. He loves a threesome. Oh my God, this man is going to talk about threesomes all the time. He loves threesomes. He's very flirty, and she knows this. And I'm thinking, he showed himself to be that way from the beginning. Why did you say? The image that I have in my mind is that Breon probably wants to be with that cookie cutter Christian girl who you're supposed to get married to. when really he wants to be a sexual deviant out here in these streets. Like, baby, there are women out there who want to be freaky like you. There are women who are cool with the threesomes. Ain't no problem with that. Go get you a girl who wants to be down with the threesomes. Hell, foursomes, fivesomes. There are women out there. Why are you going to be with somebody who doesn't do the things that you like to do? I don't know what other stuff he likes to get down with, but why would you be with that person and then cause trust issues because you still want to be part of that threesome, foursome, sexual escapades, whatever other freaky stuff that he's into life? I'll never understand that. But anyways, the rules for them are no touching, especially sex, because he loves sex. He does say that she's out of his league. And the reasons why are because he's never met somebody who is beautiful, loyal, and faithful. And this is what makes me think that, oh, he just wants to have that cookie cutter. This is the woman that you're supposed to marry. She's beautiful, she's loyal, and she's faithful. That's all I need. Well, baby, be faithful to her in return, because that's not fair. You know this woman loves you. Oh my gosh. Furthermore, there's so much with this couple. Furthermore, wait, was it them? Yeah, he left her for someone. And then he saw, oh, the grass isn't greener. Funnily enough, I'm looking at grass on my TV right now. The grass isn't greener over there. Let me go back to her. And she took him back. Baby, your self-esteem is in the pits, mama. In the pits. And he is only going to make it worse the longer you stay with him. They're probably going to stay. Are they going to stay together? No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Next, we have Alex and Lino. They've been together for 3.5 years. They've basically hit a plateau because they've been moving around a lot for her job. So she's in nursing, I think, and they've moved 3 times since they've been together. He has had to find a job at every new location, and this is going to be a problem because he feels like he's quite established and he's kind of building her up right now. She has been married before, and when they first started dating, she said that she was exclusive with him. However, she was exclusive with 2 guys. I don't know if she understands the meaning of exclusive. But yeah, apparently she was exclusive with 2 individuals. And so that's going to be a problem for Lino. We'll explain that further. They are walking in with no rules. No rules at all. I think that was a poor choice, but we'll see how that goes. Then lastly, we have Tyler and Taylor. I hate it. Why would y'all do that to me? I already struggle with names as it is. But Tyler and Taylor have been together for 2.5 years. He pursued her 4 months into his... Wait, what? He pursued her 4 months into his desperation after meeting her while... Oh, separation. He was married. And so he met her while he was still married. And then once he was separated, he only waited for 4 months, still legally married, to then go and pursue Taylor. So already we're starting on a bad foot. Like, you're already betrothed. Sorry, not even betrothed. You're already married to someone. The divorce isn't final. The ink hasn't dried and you're dating somebody else. Mind you, she knew he was married. So I can't fully put the blame on him. He wants to live the fast life. She is not okay with that. He did cheat early on in their relationship. It wasn't anything crazy. He kissed somebody, but kissing is still cheating depending who you ask. So she's not okay with that. And he wants to experience dating fully because he hasn't done the whole like, oh, let me roam the streets. Let me see what's out there. Let me date casually, whatever. His first relationship, his first relationship, he got married really young. And then anybody who he has dated has been people who he's known for a while. So he hasn't even gone on a proper first date. Like his 2 exes before Taylor were people who he knew for a long period of time. Okay. They have a physical rule, but hand holding is okay, according to him. So let's talk about the singles. Baby, I'm seeing the girls come out. I'm like, okay, they're cute. Then I see the guys come out and I said, hold on, who is that? I know that ain't Yemen. Why the hell is Yemen from season 1 of Love Island USA on this show? I was like, isn't Isada married? Now, it's not to say that he has to be married, but you went on Love Island, talk about, I'm serious and finding love and I want to find my person and blah, 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 blah. Yet one of the people who you were coupled up with is currently married. What have you been doing? Applying for other shows, and now here you are on Temptation Island. Yay, man. Be so for real. And now he has a dangly earring. Don't get me wrong. The man looks good. Time has done him well. But that little dangly if you know me, you know how I feel about a dangly earring. And if you don't know, stick around. You'll know in time. So I'm also looking around at the other man, and I see one fine specimen. I said, my God, on today. Look at that man right there. Hashim. Oh, the man is so fine. I might have to give up the OV dreams. I might have to give up who's the boy that I liked on Love Island USA? Koi. Even though Koi was problematic. Ugh. Anyways, Hashim. Oh, that man looks so good. That man is fine. So fine. I can't say too much because my man watches this podcast. But baby, nobody is finer than you. Just know that nobody is finer than you, baby. Hashim was fine though. Hashim was fine, okay? Then you have the girls, and this is what I don't like. The girls and the couples are looking at the single girls and they're like, oh, well, this one has this problem and she's not even that cute. And she would have, baby, that is a telltale sign of insecurity. Cute is cute no matter how you feel. When you're salty, that girl is still cute. When you're irritated with your partner, that girl is still cute. Like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Sometimes personality can make somebody less attractive, but you don't even know these girls' personalities. You're simply projecting. Cute is cute. This is when I knew, oh, the girls are going to be a problem. The girls are going to be a problem. So, of course, in the villas, the guys always have a better time because the guys throw caution to the wind. They're like, hey, we're basically single at this point. Let's do whatever we want to do. The girls always twiddle their fingers like, oh, I miss my boyfriend. I miss one. Your boyfriend don't miss you right now, girl. You better do the damn thing. Okay. Then we have a few conversations going on. Taylor, she does admit that she's controlling, right? But she says that Tyler has basically been a liability. Mind you, Tyler don't care. Them boys are getting lipped, sucked, rubbed, and touched. And she talking about, he doesn't put down the toilet seat. And I mean, at least she's opening up about her relationship, trying to figure out, like, why have they gotten to this point? What are things that she could do better? Because like I said, she does admit that she's controlling. She's gotten to the point where she's basically his mother. She provides financially. The home is in her name. She cleans up after him. She puts the toilet seat down. Guys, is that a really big deal? I've never lived with a man. No, I have. That's such a lie. I have a dad and two brothers. I've never lived I've never lived. Oh my gosh, where's my brain? I've never cohabitated with a romantic partner. There we go. So the whole toilet seat thing, I'm not sure if it would bother me for real. Because sometimes when you're cleaning, like when you clean the toilet, you lift up the thing, you put the toilet bowl cleaner, you scrub, you flush. Sometimes I forget. I just come back into the toilet, I put it down, and I do my business. Is it really that deep? Is it a must for your man to put the toilet seat down? Like that's a really big problem? Chime in the comments. Let me know. So anyways, yeah, she feels like her man is basically a liability. And I hear that. You don't want to be in a mothering position. But also, if you are aware that you basically have to do the heavy lifting in your relationship, why are you sticking around? She has a problem with the fact that he wants to chase the high life. He gets all these jobs that are unstable, and she wants him to just like get something solid so he can actually contribute in this relationship. And on top of that too, ain't he the one? Hold on, let me refresh my memory. Yeah, ain't he the one who started off a relationship while still being in another one? He hasn't shown you that he's somebody who is trustworthy. Why are you sticking around? And they've been together the longest, haven't they? No, they've been together 2.5 years. But still, Taylor, I feel like you're fighting a losing battle. You know you got to leave this man. Didn't she say, I swear she said it. She did. She later on says that he has bitch tendencies. Tell me you hate your man without telling me you hate your man. How can you sleep next to somebody having the thought that he has bitch tendencies? Like, some of us have to be more truthful with ourselves. We like to make it seem like, oh, this person does this and this person does that and this person. Like, we always want to shift the responsibility on somebody else. What about you? You admit that you've become controlling of this relationship. You admit that he was married when he pursued you. You admit now that he has bitch tendencies, yet you're still here. Why? I think it was Ashley. She was also having the same realization. Let me just refer to my notes to make sure I'm telling y'all the correct information. Yeah, Ashley is asking herself why she's stuck around with Grant for so long. Baby, I'm asking myself the same thing. Ain't he the one who cheated a month into their relationship? It's also important to note that he has a daughter, okay? And so he feels like she is not nurturing enough. She doesn't have the motherly characteristics to then be properly integrated into his daughter's life. I think that is rich, because number one, the way that you act is questionable as is. Obviously, he is that child's parent. He has to be in that life, but like, no, let me not say too much. All I'm saying is it feels like the pot is calling the kettle black, because I have yet to see what exactly he's calling out in Ashley, because he seems to be the more problematic person. He can't really commit to somebody. He can't be truthful. He can't be like, these characteristics are also important if you're going to be a parent. But he's looking at her like, oh, she's not nurturing enough. She doesn't have the motherly characteristics. So it's interesting too that in their first dates, they picked people who were almost carbon copies of each other. And she's like, no, he says, oh, I didn't like the fact that she picked somebody who was arrogant. She's like, you're quite arrogant too. You're both arrogant. Like, there's things about him that are so faulty. I think it's just, I don't like when somebody points the finger when they have so many pitfalls themselves. Like, let's not do that. If he wants to come with receipts as to why Ashley's not that great of a woman, please do. But right now, Grant is looking like the bigger problem in their relationship. So, I personally feel like it would be hard for Ashley, if she really does have the desire to be a stepmom. I think it would be hard to fully step into that role if your partner is giving untrustworthy. I don't even want to commit myself to your child knowing that I might not be committed to you long term. So why would I invest myself in that way? No. Grant, no, absolutely not. So we fast forward to the bonfire. I'm not going to talk about everything that happened, but it was important to note that Lino hears Alexa say that she doesn't need him anymore. And this is important because they're the ones who have been moving a lot because of her job, right? So he feels like he has been he was the perfect bachelor going into this relationship, and he will be leaving the perfect bachelor. However, she was a mess coming in, and he has basically built her up to be the woman that she is. And now she's just going to leave being better for somebody else. I have heard this a lot, but coming from a woman's perspective, women constantly have the fear of like, I don't want to give up on this person because I've invested so much already. And I feel like they're just going to be a better version of themselves with somebody else. I want to reap the benefits of my labor. And Lino's basically saying that same thing. I'm like, I've never heard it the other way around. But yeah, he was really hurt by the fact that she said, I basically don't need him anymore. So you're just going to use and abuse me and chuck me away. And that's also a problem for him because they're the ones who at the beginning of their relationship, she was exclusive with 2 people. And she's also been previously married. He has this complex that he is playing second best for her. Second best to her career, second best to the men in her life romantically. And he just can't shake this. So Alexa, is that her name? Yes. Alexa has a problem with that because she's like, okay, my divorce was how long ago? The exclusive thing was how long ago? Let's move on. Well, if we're not going to address it, I don't think you're ever going to move on. I think this is always going to be a thing that Lino is resentful about because they haven't addressed it. Has he told her point blank, I actually feel like second best. I don't feel like I'm a priority in your life. And she's proving that more and more because he has to consistently uproot his life to make sure that she's okay in her career, that she's comfortable, that she's consistently advancing. And that's not fair to him. And of course, when he thinks about, man, I'm always on the back burner in her life, he has to think about, the previous things too. Like he's living up to the shadow of her ex-husband. He wasn't her first pick when they first started dating. Like, I get it. I do think that after 3.5 years, he does have to address it or just accept it. Like, work it out or move on, babes. Like, I don't understand. But also, Alexa seems to be somebody who is taking this man for granted. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it right now. Last but not least, Brian goes on a date with Courtney. Guys, there are so many people. Yeah, he goes on a date with Courtney. Every opportunity this man has to talk about threesomes, he will talk about it. Oh, I love threesomes, Oh, I asked you what your favorite flavor is. Yeah, threesome, yeah. What's your favorite book? Threesome. Do you watch TV shows? Yeah, only the ones about threesomes. Because I love threesomes. I love sex. The man cannot stop. And so he is very flirty with Courtney. I think there was even a point where he touched her butt. I said, foul play, Brian, foul play. You're with this girl who is not going to do anything to jeopardize your relationship. So much so that you left her for somebody else. You came back and she was still there. She knows he's the flirt and she's still going to stick with him. Granted, should she? No, she shouldn't. But he knows he'd be losing a good thing by doing what he's doing right now. And I'm going to make a prediction right now. He's probably going to have sex with someone. It's given that. But surprise, surprise, Brian ain't even the first one to really cross that physical threshold. Why was it? Was it Grant? I think it was Grant. Grant kisses Natalie. Natalie's gorgeous. I get it. Grant and Natalie have been like flirting here and there. There were times where she was like, I feel like you're the one now tempting me. Like, you're kind of taking my job here. But yeah, he is basically moving as if he and Ashley are done. And I think Ashley also said the same. She's like, well, at this point, I'm just on my own. Like, why do I want to be with this man? So he was like, well, I'm going to go full force and I'm going to kiss somebody else. It is what it is. Is he going to sleep with her? No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Yeah, the most problematic men right now would be Grant and Brian, in my opinion. I think Tyler just has some growing up to do. And Lino needs to be realistic and see that he's not being appreciated in his relationship. He needs to go where he's appreciated. Or if he wants to stick with Alexa, he has to accept the fact that he might be second fiddle in her life always, unless she does some kind of like therapy to really figure out why she can't prioritize this man in her life. Like, girl, this is your life partner, or you want him to be your life partner. Why can't you prioritize him? Like, maybe there's something that she's dealing with that she has yet to unpack. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see where things go. Again, I'm going to try my best to watch the next 4 episodes. So when you guys tune in next week, y'all better be caught up to episode 7 because we're going to talk about it in the chat. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe to YouTube, to Apple Podcasts, to Spotify, to SiriusXM, to all of the things. Even if you've already seen the YouTube version, just bump the audio version. I would greatly appreciate that. And I will see you again next Tuesday to break it all down all over again. And I think I mentioned it. Well, I don't know if I mentioned it because I was crashing out earlier today, but I am basically trying to do the shows on the reality recap that people have been asking me to do on my other platform, and I just haven't had the time to. So if a show crosses your mind, it can even be an old show that you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to know Queenie's thoughts on this. Let me know and we'll look into reviewing that on here. I kind of like that it's chill. I get to sit on my couch, I get to chill out, and we just get to chit chat. I just get to ramble off. I don't actually have to be as structured as I'm used to. So yeah, we can definitely go through old shows, new shows we've never done, shows you've always wanted me to talk about. Definitely let me know. But yes, I will be back here on Tuesday. Y'all better get caught up. Thank you so much.